welcome to the PathMonk Presents podcast. PathMonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathMonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding PathMonk to your website in seconds, letting the artificial intelligence do all the work, and increase conversions by 50% while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Excellent. Welcome everyone today to the PathMonk Presents podcast. Today we've got Katherine Wilson from the Fractional Law Firm CMO. Katherine, how you doing today?
I'm great, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Of course, no problem. We're looking forward to having you on the show and talking a little bit more about your business. So today I wanted to let you know that we're going to be focusing on things like growth and marketing and digital strategies. And being a fractional CMO specifically in the law firm industry, we're really excited to hear what you have to say. But to get started, I wanted to give you the floor with a pretty basic and introductory type question. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about Fractional and what you guys are doing and how you help your clients.
Right. So Fractional Law Firm CMO, we are a small but mighty team of 7. And what we do is we provide fractional business development and marketing services specifically for law firms. So those are law firms of any size. So for the larger firms, which are known as the Am Law 100, the largest firms in the country, the 1,000+ lawyer firms, for those, we provide workshops on business development as well as specific project-based work. For the smaller firms, though, we really act as their CMO. So we provide both strategic guidance as well as marketing implementation of those tactics. So we really feel strongly that your marketing tactics need to follow your guiding light, which really is your business development objectives. So that's what we provide for law firms, like I said, of all sizes.
Excellent. Thanks for that answer. So the next follow-up question I wanted to ask was, what sort of problems do you solve for your clients?
Right. So with law firms, there's a wide spread of size, like I said. My partner and I, we founded this firm 2 years ago almost. And we came from big law, which is those 1,000+ attorney firms. And by the time I left my firm, we had 75 people in the marketing and business development function. We had content writers for the different areas. We had a video studio in our headquarters. So we had very specific and niche and high-end support for our marketing efforts. And most firms don't have that. They certainly don't have that in-house. They may have a couple people dedicated, or they may have half a person, and they may have no one. So we are providing those sophisticated level of services for those law firms that just can't build out that 75-person team, but they're still competing for a lot of the same clients that the big firms are. So they are, going after the general counsel, hold on, I'm flipping that. No, can you cut that off
Excellent. So the next question I wanted to ask was, what problems do you solve for your clients?
Right. So we founded this company about 2 years ago almost. And both my business partner and I, we came from big law, which means those large law firms that have 1,000+ attorneys. And by the time I left my firm, we had 75 people in the marketing and business development function. So we had dedicated business developers for different practice areas. We had content writers for different practice areas. We had a video studio at the headquarters. So we had very highly sophisticated, dedicated resources to help with business development and marketing. Most law firms don't have that. They may have a couple people dedicated to marketing in-house. They may have half a person dedicated, but they're still competing for that same level of sophisticated work. And that's those same types of clients. So what we do is we come in, we help provide that business development strategy, and then we have a team that helps to implement the strategy through marketing tactics.
Interesting. I like the fact that you're able to provide kind of like these top tier type solutions and also experience and expertise to some people that might be either just starting, or maybe they just started their own law firm, or they're a bit under-resourced, let's say. So kind of evening the gap and making it a little bit more competitive. And the second question that I wanted to ask is a little bit of a switch of context. Rather than what you do for your clients, I want to know how you guys are helping yourself. So how do you guys go about acquiring any sort of like new law firm clients?
So my partner and I have been in the industry for over 20 years each. So through that, our relationships. I mean, we're in a relationship-based business. That is the heart of business development for law firms. It's just as we are selling the attorneys themselves, we have to sell ourselves. So we really rely on that referral network for ourselves. And honestly, LinkedIn has been one of the most valuable tools for us to get our content out there, to remind people of who we are, to build those relationships. We do get some leads through Google. We honestly do not pay for any Google ads or anything. It has been to our benefit that we have a very literal name, and that was very much on purpose. And that has driven some traffic. And we have gotten some clients just through Google, but for the most part, it's been warm referrals through LinkedIn network.
When you mention already having that huge network and coming from big law, the first thing I think about is LinkedIn, right? If you're going to be leveraging your network in any which way, it's got to be through LinkedIn, right? It's 2024, and through LinkedIn, you're going to be able to reach so many people, especially within this industry that you've gained so much experience.
Exactly.
So also focusing on what you guys do for your own business, and switching over to kind of how you guys do your own marketing strategies and things like that. What role does the website play? You know, the Fractional CMO website. So what role does the Fractional Law Firm CMO website play in terms of your own client acquisition?
So right now, it really is just a tool for validation. Because most of our work is coming through referrals, they're coming to our website just to validate, yes, this is who they say they are. These are the capabilities that they say they have. In the future, when we grow a little more, maybe we turn on a spigot that we pay for some leads or some Google ads that actually drive traffic. And then it is more of a conversion acquisition website. But for now, it really is a validation tool. And we're actually in the middle of redoing our website because, quite honestly, we kind of had this idea and we threw up the website in a couple weeks ourselves. And now we have a team of 7 and we have really talented people on our team. And so that's why we're in the middle of redoing our website so that it is more sophisticated and it reflects more of what we're doing now, because what we do now is very different than what we looked like 2 years ago. So we have expanded services. Like I said, we have an expanded team. So, I think 2 years is long enough to have a website. And now we're ready for that refresh.
It's nice to hear that the team's getting bigger and bigger and that you've kind of outgrown that initial website and you're kind of looking for the next steps. That's exciting.
Yes.
So to switch context a little more time, I wanted to talk about metrics, but more so specifically, when you guys are working a campaign for some of your clients, what are some of the metrics that you guys are focusing on? And what are some of the metrics that you think are most important when you're running any sort of a marketing campaign for any of your clients?
It depends on the type of law firm, quite honestly. Many of the firms that we work with are what we would consider B2B law firms. So again, they are reaching out to try to build those relationships with corporate clients, in-house counsels, and they are heavily focused on building their referral network. And so a lot is LinkedIn based, right? How has their engagement grown? How has their exposure grown? And also looking at, on the business development side, how active are the attorneys? Where are they speaking? Where are they out in the community drumming up those opportunities and those relationships? With other firms that are more consumer based, now you're talking about with the plaintiff firms where they are generating leads, and leads are coming through Google and other sources. And there it's looking at, maybe the intake metrics, right? How many calls are they getting? What's the conversion on those calls? So it's much more of an intake focused as opposed to just the relationship focused building of those type of metrics.
as someone who doesn't have very much experience within the, let's say, law industry, it's interesting to hear about these different types of businesses, right? Because I kind of sit here as a marketer thinking, we've got e-com businesses, we've got lead gen businesses, and even within legal specifically, you're talking about different types of, let's say, legal firms and how they measure success. I never really thought about this before.
Right. Very different depending on the style firm and the practices that you serve and the clients you serve.
Yeah, and I'll bet even the decision makers over there probably care more and more about certain metrics themselves, right?
Right. And we also, with law firms, data doesn't lie. So a lot comes down to the financial metrics as well. So that's something that we really take a look at for client growth, which clients are growing, what types of clients are growing, where are the opportunities. And many times you can see that through the financial data. And that's something that's very important to keep in mind. That's not something that people think of when they think of marketing, but that client information is so important and so key for building that strategy around business development and what are we pursuing and where are we going to put our effort and our dollars. And so thinking about your financial platform and can you extract that data is so important, because many times we have encountered financial systems that are very inflexible and don't allow for that information to really flow through to the level that you really need to plan your strategy.
Interesting. This is an area that I'm learning so much about just on this one call. Tons of new information for me. The next question I wanted to ask is again focusing on how you work with your clients and the types of strategies together for them, but more specifically the tools and the methods that you use to make it happen. So are there any sort of tools or specific methods that you're typically utilizing in terms of any sort of the campaigns you use for your clients?
So the way we are structured, we have a business development side of the house. So we have business development directors, and they are working with the attorneys, doing research on opportunities. And really, that's just pure, talking to the attorneys, boots on the ground, finding out where those networking opportunities, speaking opportunities, sponsorship opportunities are. And then on the other side of the house, we have a creative director who is brilliant with logos and branding. And we also have social media manager, because again, social media, LinkedIn especially, is so important and key to this audience. So right now, the tools that we're using really are around social media a lot. So we use, we post direct to the platforms themselves, because most of our clients, they don't have an in-house social media tool. So we're creating that content. We do use Asana as our project management board. And so that is something that has been so helpful to have a project management tool, because that way the whole team sees what's happening. It's very important that the creative team understands what the business development team is doing and how they are structuring that strategy, because that helps them with their implementation of those marketing tactics.
So strategically connecting all those in-house departments with creative, biz dev, social, making sure that there's kind of this consistency in terms of the messaging and branding that you guys are putting out there for your client.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Okay, so I want to switch a little bit away from what you guys are doing for your business and more so into Katherine Wilson as a marketing leader herself. So my first question is going to be, what are some of the key tasks that you focus on specifically from a day-to-day perspective?
My key tasks, it varies. We have so many different things that we are doing for our clients. It could be overseeing a website redesign. It could be working with our business development team on, okay, how do we take this list of speaking opportunities and what are the best potentials for sponsorships and branding within those. Lots of social media strategy. It is really, every day is different depending on the needs of the client. We also said, I mentioned the importance of financial data earlier. We have a fractional CFO who works with us to dig into that data. So it could be working with the attorneys and the business development side to build out that strategy of, okay, let's focus on these are the opportunities that we're going to pursue. These are the clients that we're really going to target, and helping the attorneys themselves to pare down their efforts, because marketing, they still have to do billable work, right? So our job is to take as much off their plate as possible. And what is their best and highest use? Their best and highest use is building those key relationships that are actually going to give business. And sometimes those relationship building, it can take anywhere from 3 months to 10 years, right? So it's a long game, and we're there to support them. So by providing them direction, focus, as well as support, that allows them to build those key relationships.
Ooh, that's a really good answer. And again, to focus a little bit more on you as a leader, I know everyone's always trying to stay up to date and continuously learn and make themselves better and better and better. But where do you go in terms of learning, growing, staying up to date? Are there any places that you typically go to gather more information and kind of improve upon yourself?
So I'm very lucky because in the legal marketing world, legal marketers are extremely transparent. We share resources, we share ideas. There's an organization, the Legal Marketing Association, that we are very involved in, and that has been a great resource. Just a little bit about me. My background is I'm actually an attorney, so I don't have a graphic design background or a website development background. And one thing that I have learned throughout my career is to hire great, smart people who know more than me. And so a lot of what I learn is from my team. So hiring the right people with the right skill set to help our clients, and not having any pride of ownership, really deferring to them on what they think the best ideas are. And I feel like throughout my career, I have learned so much from working with different people with different skill sets and valuing their skill sets, because I think that that's a very good lesson to learn, is that just because you don't have that skill set yourself, you need to be learning from other people that do.
Yes, but it's also important to recognize when you need someone's help, right? Like it's almost an admirable trait to be able to say, oh, you didn't know someone, but you didn't try to figure it out all by yourself. You made the right decision to go find someone and who can support you and help you in terms of reaching the goals that you're trying to reach. That's also smart and admirable.
Well, I started off at my old firm. I started off in business development for 10 years. And then I really liked operations and organization, and I had a creative bent. And they said, hey, you're going to run branding and the graphics team and build up the digital team, and you're learn on the fly how to do this. And it was a great experience because probably for the first time in my life, I was managing a large team of people who had very sophisticated skill sets that I didn't have. So that was a great lesson.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer. So we're moving into kind of the final section of the podcast, and we're going to be doing some rapid fire questions. And what we're looking for is only short, crisp answers where you just say first thing that comes to the top of your head. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So the first one is kind of an easy one. What's the last book that you read?
I read mostly fiction. I'm actually a fiction writer myself, published author, but my business partner and I, we have a book that we are working on called No Clubs Required. It's business development in a new era. And we are interviewing lots of female leaders throughout law and other industries on how business development works in this age. So stay tuned.
Yeah, good plug. I like that. Okay, next one. What is one single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
Smart growth. What skills do we need? What skills do our clients need us to have? So I think really honing in on that smart growth.
Good. Next question. If there were no boundaries in technology, what would be one thing that you would want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Ease of integrations. So thankfully, we have tools like Zapier to help with certain integrations. And I know this is a pipe dream, but at my old firm, we had a whole app team that helped with having systems talk to each other. And now that we're out here on our own building systems for our clients. And I think the integration part, so making sure that like the HubSpot flows into the MailChimp, things like that, making those a little easier systems talk
at the snap of a finger, just letting it all having them all talk together, right? That would be so nice. Okay, next one. If there was one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Honestly, I don't know, because we don't have repetitive tasks. I'm going to be honest. Everything is so customized that I can't think of something that we're doing by rote. I really can't.
Interesting. Most people have something that comes to their mind right away. They say, "Oh, I do this all the time," or every week this takes up the most time. Something like that. But to hear that you don't have any sort of repetitive tasks and every day is kind of new and different goals for different clients, that's kind of interesting. Okay. Next one. What is one piece of advice that you would give to yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
To not stress and to move on. So try things and move on. With the speed that marketing is at, gone are the days where you stress over one headline for months. I mean, everything happens so rapidly. So that's both a great thing and, can be aggravating. But I think being able to try things and see if they work, and don't stress if they don't, just move on to something else and don't stress so much.
Yeah, I think marketing and sales could definitely relate to that, right? And everyone almost says in sales, when you lose a deal, don't think about it too much. Just move on to the next one, right? So that's definitely a great answer. So we're just about wrapped up with the show. And I really want to say thank you, Katherine, for joining today. I think your perspective is unique and very valuable to have on the show today. So thank you. But I also want to give you the last word. And that is, if someone forgets everything about the interview that they just watched, what is the one thing that they should remember about your company?
Hold on, I'm going to pause a second. If you have a law firm of any size, whether you have in-house people or not helping with your marketing, there's probably some place that, hold on, I'm going to say this. I would say no matter the size of your law firm, we can help with your business development and marketing needs.
Excellent. And well said. Well said. So, Katherine, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And your perspective, like I said earlier, is really unique and really valuable. If there's any law firms out there that need some fractional help, go check out Fractional Law Firm CMO.com. They're great over there. Katherine, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you, Kevin. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.